Hey, ni hao, and welcome to the EV show by Ludicrous Feed Live at a very special time of 7 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Yes, we're going a bit early tonight because of a certain football game in Melbourne tonight. So, yeah, we thought we'd get ahead of the games, but so to speak. Yes, welcome to the episode 26th of June 2024. It's nice to be home, back in Australia. Riz and I have had a fantastic week in China, as you may know, watching some of my content and following us on social media. Speaking of which, let's welcome the man himself, straight from Shanghai to Melbourne. Ni hao, Riz. How are you? Settling back into Australian life.
Ni hao, Tom. I flew back in like you did. You landed in Sydney. I landed in Melbourne. The next day, I was up in Sydney for another EV Expo and a sustainability event, which was good. Some of our listeners were there as well, which was great to see. And yeah, back in Melbourne, and it's all happening. It's cold. It's not like the warm weather around Hangzhou Lake.
Oh my goodness, how warm was China? I was sweating walking around Hangzhou, and here I am back in Australia, shivering. It was cold last few days in Sydney, but I think we might have given it to you, Riz, in Melbourne, because today was actually quite nice. I'm not actually wearing a jacket for once this evening, but I am wearing, just because I'm suffering from withdrawal, my ZEEKR t-shirt. I might just lean back so you can see. There we go. There you go, my ZEEKR t-shirt, and I can see your hat in the background, Riz, the ZEEKR hat. If you're watching Andrew from ZEEKR, hello there. Big shout out to you guys. Thanks for looking after us last week in China. Riz, like seriously, what was your? Give us like three highlights of the trip. Like there was so many to name, but give us just three big ones.
Look, one of the bigger ones that I've really found was just the scale of everything. And I know we sort of touched on it on the live stream that we tried to do out of China last week. Um, but just so many different types of EVs there. And it was, all the stuff that ZEEKR's doing, which is fantastic. And then everywhere you look. And for whatever reason, maybe it's one of those things, once you see it, you can't unsee it. But there is ZEEKRs were everywhere, but then so were so many other brands as well. The 001 looks like a fantastic car. I think it's going to Europe. Maybe we'll get it. Um, but yeah, just the difference. So that was one of the things, the number of EVs that were around. The second thing that I found was just the cities themselves and how digitized they are. It makes Melbourne, we don't have the Vivid down here in Melbourne, but it makes Melbourne look like it's stuck in the 1980s with, all the big screens and the lights. It's like in the middle of Shibuya up there.
Yeah.
Uh, Really, really cool to see. And last but not least was the company. So Tom, awesome companion to travel with, and it was good fun.
Yeah, thanks, Riz. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think they were three of my highlights as well. I'll add to that no, actually, I'll second that. Yes, Riz was a fantastic companion to have. It was really good to have him. I'm really glad I could share that experience with him. Actually, I'll also add to the fact that we had track day to test those cars on the track, and man, these things can really go quick. The 009, which is coming to Australia, that's confirmed, which is the MPV. I can't believe how quick that thing moves around the track. 0 to 100 in 4.5, handles like a small vehicle, handles like a performance Model 3 almost, with the active suspension. I couldn't believe it. Secondly, the car factory, the way the cars are put together, seeing Polestars, ZEEKRs, Volvos on the same line, seeing those big robots do their thing was great, really good. And yeah, seeing this, as I'm going to add to Riz's thought about the scale of China, like it was just mind blowing. You heard about these things on the internet, but to see it in person, to see like these huge buildings and infrastructure, like someone on the bus said, it's like China's unlocked unlimited concrete. There's like bridges everywhere. No terrain is too hard for China. So, yeah, seeing the highways, how well built they were, I think autonomous driving is not too far away for them, to be honest with you, from what I've seen. But Riz, what I've really missed last week on our live streams and a couple of ones I did too in China is seeing the live audience. It's seeing this is like being in a pub with you guys. It's really good. It's quite heartwarming to watch. The comments come through. We'll get to some of you guys in a second, but Riz, we have missed the audience last week in China.
That's right. And as Tom always says, without the audience, there is no show. And that's what was one of the big things that I guess we did miss out on, even when we did try to do the live stream last week. So it's really good. But we were seeing what you guys were saying on social media and other channels. So yeah, just awesome. And we've landed back, and everyone's already sharing all the things they want us to talk about and to work through. So yeah, thank you so much, guys and girls, for sticking with us.
Yes, yes, yeah, indeed. Thank you very much, everyone. It was really good. Good to see all that engagement on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Instagram. So yeah, appreciate all that. Let's get to some of these comments. So hello, Rob from Adelaide. Hello, Aaron Crofts. He says, "G'day, Tom, Riz, and team. Coming to you from Canberra this week." Hello, Graham from Shivery Shepparton. Yeah, seems to be cold around the southeast corner of Australia at the moment. Yeah, a bit light on numbers. That's fine. They'll come in. There's a certain football game at the moment in Melbourne. I shouldn't call it football. For you guys, it's rugby league, isn't it? Football's something else down there in the south, so apologise. Rugby league in Melbourne. Hello, Mark from Melbourne. It's cool at the moment. Yes, I agree. And yeah, Jez is on too. Hey, Jez, nice to see you. And Richard, yep, I know, a bit earlier today. No worries. The show must go on. And yeah, hello from Jeremy. He's watching from central London. Here we go. Streets distinctly quieter and cleaner again this year with more e-cars. Actually, Riz, that's something we made note of, and I mentioned that in my video too, that walking around Shanghai that first day, how quiet the streets were, because I reckon 1 in 2 were either an EV or a plug-in hybrid. It was just that quiet walking around.
And the only thing you'd hear is occasional honking, but apart from that, I mean, that's for how you knew that there were people on the street. Like, otherwise, it was extremely quiet, and it was a sunny day, so you don't hear any rain noise off the road. But yeah, just if that's what the future looks like, then the future is quiet.
That's right. Much better for pedestrians. Yeah, houses. The air quality seemed pretty good from the vision. Yeah, it wasn't altered. It wasn't doctored. What I capture is what you see. I think it's not. They didn't clean up the air for us, for me and Riz, and we're not that important. But it was really nice walking around, breathing that clean air, and not having to put up with a rattling diesel ute or something else. Just driving past us. So yeah, we were happy to see that. Yeah, that's right, Jojo. The future. That's what you see in my videos. That's the future from Shanghai and so on. Jez, sorry we didn't send you the postcard. Maybe next time we go to Shanghai. Thank you, Aaron. He says the vids were fantastic. Thank you. Now, I must explain, was the no comment chat a Chinese restriction? It wasn't, but technically speaking, YouTube is not allowed in China. I mean, I think the main issue is we didn't want chat that we couldn't moderate very quickly regarding our hosts. So that was my decision not to have the live chat and comments at the same time we did those live streams. But we're back in Australia. Still remain respectful, but that was the decision I made, just being in China, of course. Hello, Tassie Evie. Nice to see you there. Yeah, it's a bit early tonight. That's right. And hello there. I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'll just say this, Joe, I think. Thank you very much for joining us. But yeah, always see your comments. Appreciate that. Hello, Florian. Hello, nice to see you. And hello, Wayne from Mile Toowoomba. Yes, very good. Hello, Justin Hong. Appreciate that from the Gold Coast. Riz, we'll keep talking about China as the show goes on, but guys and girls watching in the audience, leave those comments as we go through the night. We'll keep answering whatever questions you might have. If you want to get an overview of our trip, just watch my videos. I've dropped 4 so far, including an XPENG video. That's 5. That's not really officially at one of the China videos, but there is a walk around of the XPENG G6 at the back of that video, so check out that one too. And I've also got a part 5 where we walk around, Riz and I walk around Hangzhou on the last night, and we saw a lot of dealerships and showrooms, including NIO, XPENG, Lotus. We saw a few on the streets as well. So, and a Tesla showroom. We saw the Tesla showroom as well at the shopping center. So, yeah, stay tuned for that one. That's going to drop probably next week at this stage. Okay, let's keep pushing on with the show, Riz. We can't have a Ludicrous Feed, the live EV show, without a Cybertruck Watch, Riz. So let's put up this one here. So this is Shai Alexander matching his Cybertruck, looking the part.
You know what it is? If they're on the court or off the court, they're balling. And that's what this is about. It appears that black on black is the way to go for some Cybertruck owners.
Yeah, looking pretty schmick there, very very shiny. So I'm seeing a lot of celebrities and rappers and sports stars with Cybertrucks. Riz, yours will be coming soon, I'm sure, because you're in that mix.
It is. Sure. Apparently, it's left Canberra, from what I hear. So it's on its way.
Oh, it's on its way. Okay, all right. So passing Albury and through Euroa and so on. Yeah, should be good. Hopefully in Melbourne soon. Yeah, sticking with the Cybertruck theme, here's a Cybertruck pulling an electric wake boat, looking like a Cybertruck too.
Hmm.
Very good. Another arch bridge in the back there. Cool. Now, question from Elizabeth while we keep going. Did you get an indication of price for Australian markets? Yeah, they were very coy about this. They didn't quite announce the price just yet. But judging from pricing in overseas markets, Riz, and also in the Chinese market, I reckon we can get pretty close to the Model Y pricing at the moment, wouldn't you say? For the ZEEKR X, that is.
Yeah, ZEEKR X. Yeah, I think it'll be close to it. In some other markets, pricing is somewhat closer to the mid-spec EX30, the Volvo EX30. Although the ZEEKR X is a slightly bigger car, a bit more spacious on the inside. Feels, I guess, premiumness depends on the person sitting in there. I found both cars pretty good, so right above Volvo EX30 pricing, but it's yet to be confirmed.
Yeah, yet to be confirmed for sure. So the ZEEKR X is 4.4 meters in length, whereas Model Y is like 4.7 from memory. So the Y is a much bigger car. Whereas I think was it the Atto 3 about 4.4 as well, 4.5 thereabouts, I think.
Yeah, I think it's about that much for the Atto
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
So it's going to be very similar size to that vehicle, I reckon, and the X will be a good car. What we did kind of see was the ZEEKR mix. They talked about that a lot when we were there. That won't be coming to Australia just yet, but that's an interesting vehicle. That's kind of like think of like a SUV-sized people mover. So it's like a small people mover without a B pillar, with like what they call suicide doors. Yeah, sort of opening doors.
Yeah, sort of sliding doors.
Yeah, sliding doors, yep. And swiveling seats. So a couple of things that may not pass ADRs in Australia, but I would love to see that car in the flesh. Yep. All right, well, let's keep going. Keep your questions coming about China. We'll answer them as we go, but more Cybertruck Watch. So, yeah, Stormtrooper Cybertruck, black and white. That'll be cool. Riz looking forward to seeing this in Melbourne, I'm sure, in a few days, hopefully.
Look, it's we can just hope. Good people in Sydney and Canberra have seen it, and apparently it's coming here. I did have my Pirelli runners on my car to go and have a look the other day, but it hasn't arrived yet. But I'm sure we'll get a knock on the door when it does.
Yeah, I'm sure Tesla will let us know. So that's Cybertruck Watch, and I forgot to actually mention our sponsors for tonight, of course. Riz from Carloop. Thank you, Riz, for joining us on the China trip and also providing lots of information during the trip for myself and the guests. Riz is your man if you want info and data, of course. And thanks to KOBA Car Insurance for sponsoring the channel. They've got an EV-specific product, namely Tesla-specific product for now, so go check them out. All right, I mentioned earlier that XPENG has released their configurator here in Australia. It's not a drill. They're actually live now. So if you want to check out XPENG, go to their website, xpeng.com.au, and you'll be able to pre-order a car. Riz, $1,000, fully refundable. What's curious, though, is there's no pricing at the moment, so that's throwing some people off at the moment.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think someone asked me the question yesterday that, didn't Tesla launch vehicles in the past without an actual price? Now, I'm not sure. I think, Tom, you ordered yours pretty early back in maybe 2018, 2019?
2019.
2019.
Yep.
And was there a price on the Model 3 Performance at that time?
No, I mean, look, I ordered it a bit late in the piece, but people had actually ordered for, I think, 3 years prior to it being released in Australia. 2016 is when it was first announced on stage, right? So people were already putting orders by then, I think, in Australia.
So a reservation was about $100, $200?
Yeah, it wasn't much. No, or maybe like 300, possibly.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't much, but there was definitely no pricing for Australia. In fact, I did videos on guessing on how much it would cost. So
Right.
that's how I remember. Yeah, but I guess go on.
Times are a bit different now, I guess. You do have reservations, and it's not like these cars haven't launched in other markets. So, XPeng's already got the G6 in a couple of, like, I think Norway and the Netherlands, and the pricing is pretty close to a Model Y. Hong Kong, it's pretty close to a Model Y, which is more of a right-hand drive market. So hopefully we'll know the price in a month or two's time, but the longer they hold on to it, the more chances are that someone's going to buy something else.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Riz. There's a lot of stuff coming, and Riz and I have obviously seen that last week. There's a lot of cars coming in the next couple of years. So obviously ZEEKR is going to come, XPENG is coming. We've got Neo obviously on the cards. They're all very similar kind of quality, which is good quality cars. So yeah, I mean, I think I would also probably hold off my 1,000 until I see the price for the moment, which shouldn't be too far away. They said September 2024 on the website too. But yeah, it's a good point, and thank you also, Grandpa Barbecue, GameCat, $20 super chat. Really appreciate that. He says, Tom, Riz, thank you both for fantastic coverage from China. No problem at all. Yeah, that was the point of my videos, just to show you and to have you guys along for the ride. You know, the trip that we had, the fantastic trip, and the food, and not just the cars, but the whole China experience, which we really enjoyed as well. So, share for the $20. Appreciate that. And Tassie Evie says, yeah, the XPENG G6 is coming out. It's almost identical size to Model Y. That's true. I think Model Y might be very, like 30 millimeters longer, possibly, but like very, very similar size. You're right. So it's got an 800-volt battery, so that's something in XPENG's favor, provided you find a charger that's 800 volts as well, for sure. Thank you, Kangaroo Island. Thank you, Stan. Hello all from sunny KI. Enjoyed Tom's videos. What a great trip. I would take the X over an EX30. There you go. Andrew, if you're watching, we've got one person who will take an X over an EX30. That's good. And Justin says BYD SeaLion 7 is coming as well. That's correct. That's correct. I think this is definitely bigger than the Model Y. I had a look today on the specs. And we'll talk about the BYD SeaLion very soon in a sec, so just hang on there. And Graham Watson asks, who provided the drone footage of your laps in Ningbo? So if you're watching Rob Mullally, who was with us, our fantastic videographer, he was the one that captured my drive and a couple of other footage I showed on the video as well. So he did a great job with that drone. That drone moved really quickly, Riz. It followed some of those cars around the track. Incredibly.
It was very fast. Very fast. Yeah. I mean, Rob captured quite a lot of the footage and that we had in China, and we learned a lot from him as well, just the techniques that he uses, and yeah, fantastic stuff.
Yeah, we did. If you want to know who Rob is, one of my videos, the walk around of the ZEEKR fleet, we did a zero gravity test with his camera, which we didn't break, but he was brave enough to put his expensive camera in the back seat while the seat reclined. So that's Rob. That's Rob's voice, and you probably see him walking around too. He's a great guy, so check him out in the videos. Riz, Andrew says Musk has just announced the Cybertruck will not be sold in Australia. Can somebody tag me and Riz on X? We'll find the source for that while we're doing the live. I'll put it up if someone can tag me. That'll be really good because I am curious to see whether that is true or not. So thanks for highlighting that for us, Andrew. Appreciate that. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, hands up. Who ordered the G6? That's a great question. If anyone can. Yeah, tell us on the live here. Make XPENG Australia happy that you've got at least one order from Ludicrous Feed. Al says, I put on 10 kilograms watching 10 devour the food. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to make you guys jealous, especially the business class flight. It was something else. Yeah, it was good flight from China Eastern. Shalendra says XPENG CEO in the US testing Tesla FSD at the moment. Hey, okay. That's Jason Clark, isn't it, Riz? From
sorry, the actual XPENG CEO. So
I see.
think Mr. Xiao Peng himself.
Mr. Peng himself. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He's out there testing. The XPENG released an official video on their channel of him test driving it through, I believe, San Francisco.
Cool.
It's a 30-minute long clip. But yeah, I think it's good. They're doing the comparisons, and he has invited Elon Musk and the Tesla team to go and test drive XPENG's equivalent. I think they call it XNGP Pilot.
Yeah, X-Pilot
in China. So
which is using LiDAR. Which is using LiDAR, not cameras. So that'll be really good head-to-head, actually, LiDAR versus cameras. I mean, Riz, that's something I'm hoping XPENG can lend us a car. I'd love to test the LiDAR, capabilities on our streets compared to, say, autopilot with just cameras.
And that's the key thing, right? Like, with brands like XPENG bringing their vehicles in, I know sometimes we get a bit crossed with Tesla and some other brands for not releasing all the features in the Australian market. I wonder what XPENG would start with, because surely they can't just bring cars into the country and all of a sudden their equivalent pilot suite starts to work straight away. But if it does, that would be awesome. We just want to see it.
Yeah, and that's kind of something we implored the ZEEKR team locally in China. We said to them, look, I think you need to really get your testing right with regards to ADAS autonomy and also charging to make sure your cars can actually charge on the Tesla network and every other network for that matter. Because as we've seen with the BYD experience, people get very frustrated if you advertise a product that works but it doesn't when it gets to Australia. So, we've seen our community here in Australia very vocal and rightly so to make sure we get the best products here down under. So hopefully ZEEKR, XPENG, Neo, whoever comes to Australia will listen to us from that regard. Thank you, Jez. He's got a quote here from somewhere from EV Central. It would make the product worse. Tesla Cybertruck ruled out for Australia as Elon Musk delivers hammer blow to local fans. Riz.
What would make the
Disappointing.
product worse? Like
I
what,
don't
having it
know.
here?
It's already here. It's coming to Melbourne.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like I've already
Ah,
got my wrapper tint guy ready to tint and wrap the car. So
oh no.
um,
I'll find this link and we can put it up here. So
yeah.
evcentral.com.au. Yeah, I mean, what happens with if this is true, Riz? Like, what happens with all the deposits? They've got to give it back, I guess.
Well, yeah, maybe that's what they did with the model, I guess, SNX order holders.
Mm,
Um, I mean, there's mixed messages of all of it, right? Sometimes there's been statements that maybe a smaller version will go to Europe and the rest of the world, and
yeah, here we go. It would make the product worse. From EV Central. Uh, they must have interviewed him. I don't know, unless I can't see a source on X or anything.
currently,
Yeah, here we go. The quote is, we did design the car to North American requirements because if you start going with the superset of international requirements, it forces a lot of constraints on the Cybertruck that would make the product frankly worse, he told investors this week. I think we'll need to make a special version that is, for example, China compliant or Europe compliant, but that doesn't really make sense to add that complexity until we've achieved high volume production on Cybertruck. He didn't
yeah,
shut the door
well,
completely.
yeah, well,
Hmm.
I thought that was just a given of what he discussed last week. I think when they had or the week before when they had the shareholders meeting. So
Hmm.
maybe not new news.
It could just be amplified. You're right. I mean, he's said in the past it's got to be as long as local regulations allow for it, right? Or was that for FSD? I can't remember. It was either Cybertruck or FSD from memory.
But this to me is not really like he hasn't specifically said Australia. It's just
Yeah.
and it's fair enough. Like if you don't scale production, which is what they're aiming for now, right? They're nearly hitting half of their 250,000 a year production rate of what they were aiming for. And Q3, which is in a couple of days' time, they will start to produce enough where they can finally unlock the non-foundation series trucks, which start at about 79,990 US dollars, and then there is about 7,500 tax credit for them. So Cybertrucks are getting closer to around about 70 grand starting from Q3 this year.
Mm.
And as they ramp up production and go through the order backlog, yeah, I think eventually they will do something. But yeah, I don't think that what he told shareholders says that it's not coming to Australia.
Yeah, you're right. It's not specifically for Australia. It's like a broad statement saying we've got to make it for other markets, which is fine. Like, cars need to be made for other markets. It's not one size fits all for sure. So we'll keep an eye on this. Thanks for highlighting this, everyone, on the stream tonight. Yeah, we'll try and get Jason, the XPENG Australia CEO or EV Up CEO, who's bringing the XPENG to Australia. Look, I don't share his number on here. Just saying, we'll get him on the show somehow ahead of the launch. The same way we got Luke Todd from EV Direct for the BYD launch as well. I think that'd be a great Q&A session. Okay, let's keep going. Thanks, Adam. Yes, the Chatswood Place, the mix, the mix,
Yeah.
in Chatswood, opening up the 8 or 9 stall superchargers. That'd be really handy to have in the local area for me anyway. A lot of Teslas in Chatswood on the North Shore. Let's keep going. Yeah, so Andrew, yes, big news about VW and Rivian. That's right. VW's invested $5 billion worth into Rivian. We'll talk about that very shortly at the end of the show. Keep going. Yeah, Richard, I agree with you. EV Central's taking 1 and 1, adding up to 5. They're making a big jump here from just a very short snippet of news from Elon. So let's keep following that story. All right. Let's keep going. Yeah, fake news. Yeah, it's probably something we won't put a hat on too much. Yeah, people are agreeing with us, Riz. Yeah, it's not ruling Australia in or out at this time. Oh, okay. SWS says apparently there was a Tesla on fire in Brisbane this arvo. Not sure what the cause was. Okay, find out about that. Okay, cool. Let's keep pushing on for the time being. Now, this is probably worth sharing actually. So, Car Expert have said that the BYD SeaLion 7, which is the full battery electric vehicle, this is not the BYD plug-in hybrid SeaLion 6, which is currently in Australia. This is the SeaLion 07, which is, I guess, based on the looks and philosophy of the Seal, is coming to Australia apparently, according to Car Expert.
Yeah, that's another interesting one because I don't even think this car has been officially released in China yet, or I don't think the first customer deliveries have really begun, as far as I know. I know there have been a couple around showrooms and stuff. We certainly didn't see one of these.
No.
So it's interesting, but usually there would be 6 to 12 months lag after Chinese customers start to receive them for these vehicles to end up in Australia. We haven't seen one being tested. So you'd think that BYD would be using similar protocols to what they use the Seal, and I guess we've seen with the Atto 3 as well, and SeaLion 6, which is the plug-in hybrids, and the Shark has been seen roaming around Australia in camouflage, and we haven't seen this yet. But I guess they must know something that we don't know, and I would say it's probably something in the new year, but I guess they're saying end of this year.
Yeah, I just reading the article really quickly. There's no source as such. They haven't quoted anybody, so there's obviously some source somewhere that we are not supposed to know. They've obviously got it, their sources, but yeah. So I mean, if this does come to Australia, that's great. That's I think I'd prefer to review this over the SeaLion 06, given that's a hybrid. But look, it's quite a big car, 4830, whereas Model Y is 4750. So you're looking at least 8 centimeters longer than the Model Y. So yeah, I think it'll be a nice alternative to the Tesla Model Y. All right, we'll keep an eye on that one too, of course. Let's keep pushing on. So now back to ZEEKR, because we have to thank ZEEKR for our trip to China. But this is not sort of new news, but we were told that this is probably going to come to Australia. This is the ZEEKR, what is it, C something? It's kind of their small SUV.
I think this might be the 001.
Oh, apologies. Sorry, there was another story I wanted to talk about. Sorry, we'll talk about this one first. Yes, this is the 001. I apologize. It's the one we really liked in China.
Yeah, so that's the shooting brake style, sort of fast. I wouldn't call it an SUV, but yeah, shooting brake vehicle that looks cool. Plenty of them on the road that we've seen. It's already available in Europe. It hasn't been confirmed for Australia yet, as you said, Tom. So yeah, maybe it will come, maybe it won't come, but yeah, it's good to see that. I guess they are producing these vehicles. We're in that factory. They're producing them at scale. So 200,000 car that's sort of being delivered. When does this article say when they first started to produce them? Our deliveries began in October 2021.
Yep. Yeah. I remember them telling us at the factory that that particular one in Ningbo, which is one of 4 ZEEKR factories, can produce like 250,000 cars a year or something ridiculous like that. It's pretty high volume.
Yeah, they're all high volume production that they're doing with all the different brands. So yeah, 200,000 cars over, what is it, 3 and a bit years. Yeah, quite good to see.
Yeah, exactly. And like, this was definitely a crowd favorite amongst the media and influencers that traveled with us. This and the ZEEKR 007, they were the two I personally liked. This would be a great family car, by the way. This is a shooting brake wagon style vehicle with if you just watch my videos, there's like a air suspension up the back. So if you've got a heavy load, this thing will actually drop down for you to load it in the back. It's a sporty wagon. Like, this is the kind of perfect family vehicle. So yeah, I mean, Riz, I'm hoping the shooting brake comes back into fashion. We'll see, right? I mean, I know Australia's in love with SUVs, but we should buck the trend. We should get one of these cars just to prove that wagons are back.
Different. We need it.
That's right. And it's like super luxurious on the inside. You won't believe how nice it is. So yeah, I'm curious to see what the pricing's like if it does get released into overseas markets and hopefully Australia too. Yep. And the battery tech too. I mean, I think this will probably have the new battery that's got a huge range and can charge quickly. So we'll find out. Now, this was the story I was going to talk about, the ZEEKR CX-1E. This is the one they shared with us in China that may be coming to Australia as well in the future. This is kind of like the mid-size SUV, I think. Yeah. So this is not new news. This was spotted in 4th of January 2024, but it'll be the sixth model in the in the ZEEKR lineup after 001, 009, X, 007, and the Mix. It's got the same platform as the 007 too. Yep. So would this be SUV? So I guess this would be like bigger than the X, right? The mid-size SUV.
I expect it to be bigger than the X, but not as big as the 001.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is like your Model Y contender, I would think, in line with the XPENG G6, Neo, Model Y, SeaLion 07, all that kind of stuff. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Let's take some comments from the audience. Thanks, guys and girls, for asking questions and commenting. Let's see. So Thailand has started testing the right-hand drive.
Ooh.
Okay, nice. This is the 00. No, this is the X. ZEEKR X, yeah. Okay. Toka has a special Cybertruck preview on 10th of July, Riz, for Melbourne.
Ooh.
There you go. Tesla Owners Club of Australia. Yep. Get in there. Okay, yes, that's right. Stan, that's correct. The 001, ZEEKR 001 shares the same platform with Polestar 4. Is that right? Let me think. We saw a lot of things, but we definitely saw the Polestar 4 come off the line in Ningbo at the factory.
And yeah, 001, I think it's the same in terms of the platform that they've got, the SEA platform. And I think it might be sized pretty close to it as well. I mean, the Polestar 4 is a big car, but it's sleek. So yeah, we saw both of them roll off the same production line.
Every 26 hours, by the way, a car can be produced. It's just phenomenal, so quick. 001 looks good. Is it on EX30 underpinnings? I think the ZEEKR X is actually EX30,
Yes.
Same platform. Yeah. That's right, Ray. Fisker is gone. We'll talk about that as well later on the show. Does the 007 have an ejection seat? No, it does not have an ejection seat. Not designed for espionage, but cool nonetheless. Stealth mode, that'd be fun. Evade radars somehow. Yeah, I'm with you, Jason. 001 has me interested. Yeah, it's a phenomenal vehicle. We gotta, guys and girls, if you're watching, we have to petition ZEEKR Australia to get this to Australia. We have to make them known that ZEEKR, the 001 will have legs here. So write into ZEEKR if you can. Let them know that. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going with stories. So a bit of Tesla news now. So the Hardware 5, Riz, info and comparison. As Tesla officially announces Hardware 5.
Apparently coming out next year, which means that, and they mentioned something about it being 10 times more powerful than Hardware 4. But then again, I don't know who's comparing. 3 to 5 times more powerful.
3 to 5, yeah.
Who knows? It's all too fast for me.
Or maybe 10 times better than Hardware 3, because it's 4 to 5 times better than Hardware 3. Hardware 4 is, and 4 is 3 to 5 times more powerful. So I could add up to 10, potentially. I mean, we haven't really seen Hardware 4 to its full potential just yet. Even now, they're talking about Hardware 5, which is fascinating. Yeah, I think the battleground will be autonomy very soon. We've got the Chinese cars, showing that they can do it too, and then obviously Tesla's got their camera-based FSD. So interesting times ahead, Riz.
Yeah, and it's not Hardware 5; it's AI 5.
AI 5. And as all Tesla owners will ask, can it be retrofitted to my car, and how much? There you go. All right, so that's Hardware 5 news. And then Sawyer tells us that the average Tesla is costing $30,000 US to produce. A new analysis from Bank of America has shown. I wonder whether this is inclusive of Chinese EVs, Riz, or is this just like everyone else?
I think it'd be just an American study. They're comparing it to, I think, GM and Ford. So interesting to see. I mean, cost to produce stuff in the US is high, and we know Teslas are some of the most American-made cars, which is, surprising given a lot of the OEMs in the US, like GM and Ford, make quite a few of the EVs in Mexico. So it's interesting times. So that's about just under 45,000 Australian dollars, and the starting price for a Model 3 is around 55,000, and Model Y is 56. So it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but as I said, I think this is obviously American, and obviously with some of the stuff we saw in China, like I think they'll be very, very shocked. Obviously there'll be no study coming out of China for the average cost, but you would think the scale they have in China, it's going to be a lot more efficient the way they do things.
Yeah, it's likely to be a bit cheaper than that because, as we know, they also have localized supply chain. Previously, I think the head of Tesla in China, she's previously said that they've got, I think, 97 or 98% localized supply chain. And from all accounts, I hear that Tesla might be getting the batteries from a factory built right next to theirs. So CATL has built a factory right next to theirs that they're ready to supply battery packs out of. So everything is produced and used and shipped in the same place.
Yeah, amazing, right? And we also got a chance to go to the Vremt battery plant as well in Ningbo, which was fascinating to see. We actually got to see the packs up close. They're pretty heavy, those things, but they can actually store a lot as well. So yeah, very exciting times. Let's keep going with some of these comments. So I think I found a funny one here from Tassie Evie. The 007 has a martini bar between the front seats. Shaken, not stirred. That's right. Congratulations, Brandon. Picked up his Ioniq 5N in cyber grey today. Couldn't get the smile off my face. I learned a lot of things from this channel. Thanks. Yeah, no problems, Brandon. You're more than welcome. We try and keep it honest here on Ludicrous Feed. Shalendra says apparently XPENG is also moving to vision only. Okay, interesting. I haven't heard that one, but the G6 definitely has LiDAR-based autonomy at the moment, or at least self-driving. Okay, let's keep pushing on. So now this is not really new news, but I just want to reiterate because I get asked a lot about the new Model Y. So this was Elon Musk's tweet about, let's see, almost 3 weeks ago now. He says the no Model Y refresh is coming out this year. I should note that Tesla continuously improves its cars, so even a new car that's 6 months old will be better than before. So there you go, just a blanket announcement. No Model Y refresh for 2024. So earliest we're probably going to see is 2025. All right. So now's probably a good time to get a Model Y. The prices have never been so cheap at this point. Okay, let's push on. Now, this is very interesting. So if you work in, I guess, the Children's Hospital of Westmead, you will be treated to a new staff car park with a whopping 75 electric vehicle chargers and 1,400 solar panels on the top of the hospital car park. Now, I've actually got a friend who's a staff member at Westmead Hospital, and he can verify this is true. So there's like a whole bank of AC chargers lined up for workers there. I think from memory, they charge a fee for employees to charge there. And it's less than $100 for an annual fee, which, if you think about it, is pretty good considering it's probably $100 to pump your ICE car full of petrol for a week. So $100 to less than $100 to charge your car for the year if you're a staff member is pretty good value, I would think. 75, right? I mean, this is fantastic, Riz, as a worker.
That's definitely good news. I mean, it's one of the larger sites where staff can charge. Just not sure if anyone's passed this information or this story from ChargeFox to some of the hospitals here in Victoria, which have stopped people from charging in the hospital public car parks. So, hospitals in New South Wales and other places are probably a bit ahead. So EV charging in hospitals can be done, and it's such a good service to have, right? Staff, as well as everyone that is there can see that EVs work, and yeah, fantastic news.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a great perk to have as an employee of New South Wales Health. And Children's Hospital at Westmead is the largest, in terms of size, the largest hospital, or kids hospital in New South Wales and in Sydney. It certainly employs a lot of people. So 75 is probably not even enough for the number of staff with EVs, I would think, that travel to Westmead every day. But it's a good start. 75 is a fantastic start. So well done, New South Wales Health, for having this in a staff car park. I can't applaud you enough. Now it's only for staff, so I'm going to try to get in there to have a look and film something if I'm allowed to. I don't want to break any rules, but I'll try and get someone who's a staff member there to show me around. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have some of that content later on. Now, Riz, just back to China. We have some photos here from a good friend of ours, Mark Lampard. He was happy to share this on LinkedIn as well. So this is an example of a charging station in Shenzhen, which is, I guess on the mainland of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is very close by. This is an incredible picture, but this is just a very small section of this, charging station. But this is a whole car park full of EV chargers, and as you can see there, 480 kilowatts. So they're not mucking around there with the speed.
Oh, it's just the scale of it. I think there's 258 DC fast charging plugs, and and there's vehicles everywhere. He did mention that a lot of these were DDs, but then I think what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth car looks like a bit of a Lee Mega type of a vehicle in disguise. They love people movers, luxury people movers, and that's one of the best that's out there. But yeah, just the scale of it, that looks awesome.
It's phenomenal. And actually, that was another highlight of mine too, Riz, seeing that Lee Mega at Hangzhou Bay on that second morning. Wow, it was quite a treat. Even the local, I understand a bit of Mandarin, so I hear the local behind me going, "Wow, yeah, what do you think? Nice car, huh?" And I said, yeah, definitely a nice car. And I think it was picking up some guests from the hotel, but it was just sitting out there like a stormtrooper. Yeah, phenomenal vehicle. So hopefully we get that kind of people mover for our airport transfers here in Australia. But what'd you say, Riz? 258 plugs, right here?
Yeah, 258 DC plugs at this particular single site near Shenzhen Airport. I believe most of these chargers are provided by Sinexcel, which is they've got a few chargers in Australia as well. And yeah, we'll hope to see. I mean, this looks like a pretty reliable undercover, good amenities type of a site. And let's hope we see more of these.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see 5C batteries, 6C batteries that can charge at phenomenal speeds. We're talking 10 to 80% in 11, 12 minutes. So the turnover will be quicker. So we do need fast chargers like this. So, you won't have enough time to go to the bathroom to do number two if you're charging that quick. But you're right, Riz. We need undercover chargers. We need them in volume like this. This is the future. Now, if I hadn't been to China yet, I would say, no, this is fake. But no, having been there with you, Riz, we know this is what they're capable of, this kind of infrastructure. So it's really good.
And everything just works from what it seems, right? Like, they're not mucking around when it comes to this sort of stuff. They know it's needed. And it's probably part of, this huge, massive amount of EV adoption that they've had is part of the reason why, the air quality was really good. Like I said, they never shut anything down for us specifically. Maybe for you, Tom, but definitely not for me.
Come on, Riz. You're called Hollywood Riz for a reason, right?
That's true.
Now, Riz, look at this. Look who's joined us in the chat. The man himself, Andrew Harissa. Look at this. What, Andrew? Look what I'm wearing. Come on. Okay, I'm going to do this poll just for Andrew, because Andrew, Mr. Harissa here he was our tour guide in China. He's what should we call you? The marketing, he's the man. He's the marketing man for ZEEKR in Australia. He's the one who he's the one that made that brochure for us.
He's the one that organized this.
If you want anything done for ZEEKR, he's the one to speak to. So I'm so glad he joined us. Let's do this poll. What question should we ask Riz? Just because he's here.
We can just ask, what would you want? ZEEKR 001 or ZEEKR X?
Okay, let's do that.
ZEEKR 009.
Yeah, what cars do you what ZEEKR cars do you want to see in Australia? Okay, so I'll put 1 001, option 2 007, 009, and the X, of course. Okay, so I mean, look, you can only vote once, but that's all right. We'll get a nice sample. We've got 132 viewers on. A bit low tonight because we started early. That's okay. It's still pretty good sample size. All right, let's start the poll. Andrew, you asked the question, and the poll is coming. So go ahead and vote, guys. Which ZEEKR cars do you want to see in Australia? 001, 007, 009, X. Vote now. You've got at least 20 minutes probably before the end of the show, and we'll give Andrew the result very shortly. I can already see, Andrew, the 001 is being flooded with responses here. The votes are going up and up. There you go. The people here are saying what we said on the tour is. They want the 001 in Australia. This is no joke.
This vote's not rigged. It's not coming from the US. It's live.
It's live. Yeah, okay, we'll keep going with that. It's pretty funny to watch, actually. Thanks, Andrew. Good question. All right, we'll get back to you very shortly. Okay, let's keep going with the comments here. So there was a question about air quality. Yeah, just watch my videos. Not doctored, not filtered, nothing. It's clean as. It was good. And yeah, Tom said it was quiet in the city, as Riz said as well. So, very true. Now, this is a question for you, Andrew, from Sensei. Is Tom going to get a ZEEKR X for free? Come on, Andrew. At least 6 to 9 months loan. You'll sell so many. It's true. You'll sell so many. I think I've got the #1 referrals in Australia for Tesla still. So think of the ZEEKRs you'll sell with a free car. Let's do it. I'll drive to Melbourne to pick up Riz, and we'll drive back to Sydney. You can't think of a more better real world test than that.
I'll try and get a Mercedes EQE off Benz again if they're kind enough to lend it to me, and then we can do a comparison.
Absolutely. Good question, Sensei. Okay, let's keep going. We're having too much fun. So this, speaking of charging, so this is a picture sent to us from one of our viewers, Simon, who lives around, I think it's Tenterfield. So they've upgraded their Tesla chargers to the V4 casing, which seems to be a thing people are doing. The thing that Tesla's doing at the moment to upgrade to V4 casing, so that non-Tesla EVs who don't have that left-sided port can still charge a car. So this is good to see Tesla doing this. I know Simon's got the adjacent plug. That's fine because no one's here. So, but if push came to shove, he could actually pull that cable around to the other side of the car, and it'd be fine.
Yeah. Just a quick one on this. I know this has just been upgraded to V4s. I think Tesla's done with all the upgrades they were going to do in June, well ahead of time. That site in Tenterfield, Tom, have you seen other supercharger sites with the Gen 3 wall connector?
Good pickup. Simon's talked about this too. Yes, you see that little AC Gen 3 wall connector in the corner there. That's so good. That's like a backup, right? Really good. Yeah. Just in case these break, which they never do. But yeah, we need these around the Tritium ones. Just saying. Yeah, that's really good backup just in case these break. Yep. Good spot. Now, Riz, I guess there's a bit of speculation as to whether these are actually true V4 chargers or they're just casing, because they're more for like convenience for non-Tesla EVs. Simon also shared a picture of the specs of the machine, and you can see there it's still 250 kilowatt for the DC output, not 350, which is what V4 is. So
definitely. Hey, one more thing I pick up on this with this photo. These are one of the first chargers, I believe, or maybe all V4 casings are coming out of Shanghai.
Good spot.
Traditionally, they come out of New York, or at least the electrical gear used to come out of New York. So yeah, they've switched over to that factory as well.
Yeah. There you go. We were probably not too far from this because our hotel that first night was in Pudong in Shanghai. So there you go. Good pickup there, Riz. Nice. Okay, let's answer some of these comments. What do we got here? So we've got, Stan saying loan him a 001 to drive around Australia too, and Kangaroo Island to weigh up against Polestar 4. That'd be a good comparison. Andrew has said, only if there is carpool karaoke at play. Hey, we saw the mics, Riz, in Hangzhou and Shanghai. Like, bring the carpool karaoke. Yeah.
I told Andrew this is going to be a hit. We need the mics.
And I'm happy to sing again if it's a ZEEKR car. I'm singing for every car. Sing for my supper. Sam saying we see the evolution of Tom, Tesla Tom, BYD Tom, ZEEKR Tom. Yeah, why not? I'm happy to be ZEEKR Tom for a new car for 6 months. Yeah, let's make happen for a free real size ZEEKR for Tom. Yep, particularly if it's a 001. Speaking of which, the votes are coming in. Keep them coming, guys. So 59 votes in. 001, 71%. 71% want the 001 in Australia. 10% want the 007. 17% want the X, and 2% want the 009. So, yeah, they've seen my videos, Andrew, and the 001 is the winner.
And I guess Andrew can see the 2% of our viewers are high net worth individuals looking at the 009 as the only way executives should travel, in the backseat of that. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. Next time we go to Shanghai, Andrew. Yep, 009's all up, please. Yep, happy to be transported in that for sure. Okay, let's push on with more Tesla charging news. So, speaking of refurbing all the Tesla chargers, so this is Tari, also refurbed with or refitted with V4 housing. It's a beautiful shot. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, at least 11, probably 12 chargers sitting at this site. So this is the kind of stuff that makes road tripping easy. It gives me the confidence because I know Tesla Supercharger is the locations are rock solid almost. Like that's, reliable. And now with the V4 housing, longer cable, I'm not going to upset somebody if I'm using up another adjacent stall. Riz, I've told you, and I'm happy to tell everyone now, I'm actually getting my BYD Seal refitted with a decent harness, so I can actually charge at a V3, V4 supercharger as of tomorrow. So video hopefully will be dropping later this week of that experience.
Yeah, looking forward to that one, Tom. And hopefully then after that we get to see what happens with all the, the Atto 3s and the other Seals. Having said that, if any of our viewers have received the 2024 BYD Atto 3, which they are starting to go out to customers now, test it out for us at a supercharger to see what the situation, what the state is. Are they coming from the factory like the Seals, fitted with the right sort of equipment? Just find out for us. It'd be awesome to see.
Yeah, agreed. That'd be good because we know the 2023 and before plates for BYD Atto 3s still can't charge at a Tesla supercharger. That's V3 or V4. So yeah, that'd be great. Test it out for us. And here's another example of Tesla charging at Natari, which is good. That's great. Thank you, City EV, for testing that for us, or for showing that rather on the superchargers. And sticking with the same theme, so down in Nashville or Wollongong, V4s again being refitted for the Wollongong Fig Tree site. So that's great. Great to see, Riz. I'm very happy about this.
Oh, definitely. Speaking of Nashville, now, if the situation was real about the Cybertruck, I think we would hear from Nash. And we're yet to hear because he is the #1 order holder for Cybertrucks in the country.
Very true. You would definitely see a short or some sort of rant from Nash on X. Like, yeah, it's got to be not fake news, but re-engineered news from a short clip from Elon. So, don't know. It's not. It doesn't sound like it's cancelled. It just sounds like a lot of work needs to be done to bring it to Australia. So, let's keep an eye on that. Can the Ioniq 5N be charged at all Tesla superchargers or only some of them? So the caveat is that you've got to check the Tesla app. Not all Tesla superchargers are open to non-Tesla EVs. So the app will tell you the latest information about that. Florian says, I've seen your videos of the BYD new update. You can see all the charging stations around. How accurate is it? Can I see all the charging stations around? Do you mean the one I did the ABRP video one with the OBD2? Because, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to double check whether we can with the new update. So thanks, Florian. Good question. Yep, I will ask if I can about the Atto 3s. Thank you, Dave, for reminding me. No worries. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going for now. So, now more Tesla news. It looks like Euro NCAP has lowered Tesla's safety rating because there are less buttons in Teslas. We sort of heard about this earlier in the year, so it looks like that's coming true. So Euro NCAP is now working on a new requirement where distracting screens must be classified as unsafe and lose stars in the safety rating. Tesla and Volvo are the only ones who have gone the furthest in the quest to remove physical controls and traditional speedometers in front of the driver. So is that why they're losing points, because there's no drive cluster screen? Interesting. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that one. Yeah, we know the EX30 doesn't have the drive screen, Riz. You've seen that, right, in person? Yep. Okay. And now we saw a few of these around, the WuLing vehicles. So the GM WuLing is now releasing the Bingo EV in China, undercutting the ZEEKR for $8,000 US. Question from someone: is this the cheap EV Australia and Western countries need? Probably. In our cities, particularly, I would say. Good for like sort of car sharing or ride sharing. We saw a couple of interesting vehicles too, Riz. We saw like one seaters, two seaters driving around.
Yeah.
That was quite fun. All right, let's keep going. Now, this was quite a funny story. This is a Beach Daz BYD Seal. I think it was in Perth. These people tried to drive a very heavy vehicle onto the sand and couldn't get out for a photo shoot.
Oh.
Unfortunately. Just a word of warning. These things are like more than 2 tons, so just be careful. I think they got it out eventually. They must have. Beach Daz. Now, we were talking about this earlier. So Rivian shares surge after Volkswagen agrees to $5 billion investment in the Rivian company. So that's quite fresh from today, I believe, or early this week. So that should help Rivian?
Oh, well, would like to think so. They put a pause on their big plant that we're going to build. And then I'm not sure how Rivian sales have really been doing, but they recently, maybe 6 months ago, they announced their new smaller platforms that are coming up, which is also good to see, but no sign of any of those cars being produced yet. And we know that scalability is what's really going to drive cost and hopefully profitability. So yeah, good luck to them. If hopefully this will help, both companies put more EVs out.
Yeah, we saw Rivian announce the R2 as well this year, that smaller one. I think the R3 as well, right? There's an R3, which is a very small one. That the car looks like a Lada, I think, from memory. A little triangle-looking thing. So yeah, I mean, look, I personally like the look of the Rivian, and hopefully that comes to Australia. I think it's quite a nice-looking vehicle. So yeah, hopefully Rivian will do well with this capital. Now a bit of car spotting. So we got tagged by Billy, EX30 in the wild.
Getting out there.
I've been seeing more of these in Sydney too. Not a bad-looking vehicle, I got to say. This is the same platform that the ZEEKR X will be built on as well. Same SEA platform. Yeah. I must say, it's actually bigger than I thought it would be. It's quite a chunky SUV, even though it's like small, but still. I think it'll do very well. This is the kind of urban vehicle that's good. Good for our cities. So thanks for sharing that, Billy. Thank you. Now, speaking of Nash, he's just tagged us. The F-150 Lightning deliveries have begun. It has begun. In Australia.
Happening.
It's all happening, yeah. Proud new owners of a Oz EV Ford F-150 Lightning enjoyed a personal tour of the Brendale-based company's production line. There we go. That's me. Going nice. Yeah, that's good. And how much are these things? Well, we've got some car sales screenshots. So there you go. F-150 Lightnings going for similar price to Ford F-150 Raptor. So not too bad. Around that 200,000 Australian mark. I'm shocked, Riz. I actually didn't think they were that expensive, the ICE versions, but so there you go.
Well, yeah, it's people say EVs are expensive, but yeah, their ICE equivalents are just as much, if not more in some cases. So yeah, $200,000 for the Lightning, but yeah, good to see them on the road.
That's right. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Sid EV, that's good. Any other screenshots here? Yep, so more screenshots here. So look, we've got a 2021 Ford F-150, 28,000 kilometers, asking $269,000. Wow, that's a lot of money. Okay, let's take some comments. So Andrew says, saw an EX30 in Perth yesterday, looked great in grey. Good. Yep, Kit says, test drove the Volvo EX30, nice, but I think the Kia EV3 would suit me better. Probably cheaper as well. Not sure whether the EV3 will have LFP batteries, hopefully, because that'll make it a very good buy if it does. Yep, thanks, Tassie EV. So Rivian, we're talking R2, R3, R3X. Yeah, good point. As long as Rivian software replaces the VW software. No, we do not want VW software at all. Really good point there. And I must say, I quite like looking at the Chinese car software. So ZEEKR software looked okay. Looked pretty intuitive.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Even XPENG, when we were there, we on the showroom floor, we saw a couple of a couple of vehicles there with their software. So it's certainly a lot better. I think it looks a lot more user friendly. Let's just say than some of the other stuff I've seen here. Cool. Let's see. Speaking of, let's have a look at the poll we're doing here. We've got 78 votes in, so keep them coming, guys. I've got what ZEEKR cars do you want to see in Australia? 4 options: 001, 007, 009, and X. If you've just joined us, make sure you vote to see which car you want. If you don't know what these cars are, have a look at my videos. I've done a walk around of all 4 vehicles in, I think, part 3 or part 4 possibly of my vlogs. But I think the crowd favorite so far is definitely the 001, which is that shooting brake wagon style vehicle from ZEEKR. And then the next favorite is the 007 and X. So yeah, it'd be a real shame not to have the 001 come to Australia. Let's see. Yep, ads are saying, oh man, that ZEEKR 001 is yummy. Sure is. Seeing it in person, I was very impressed. Even drifting around the track with our friend Ray at Ningbo International Speed Park. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad I didn't have lunch that day, I gotta say. All right, let's keep pushing on. We're almost at the end of the show. Now, we talked about this a bit earlier today. The Fisker company has officially filed for bankruptcy. This is a sad day for Fisker because they looked quite promising, these cars, but they are gone. Real shame. So, I think they were almost on death's door really for the last couple of years, struggling to make any money. So this is it. This is the death knell. Death knell. And just a public service announcement for Mercedes-Benz EQE and EQS owners, EVs. There is a recall at the moment. The defect is that the software issue in the battery management system, BMS, may cause deactivation of the high voltage battery. As a result, the vehicle may experience a loss of propulsion while driving. So I would suggest you get that checked out if you own an EQE and EQS if you're watching on the show. There's a list of VINs there, as usual, that you can check out. Okay, good question, Tassie Evie. Speaking of bankruptcy, any word on Tritium as yet? No, it looks like they are still being rescued as we speak, Bonza style. Although Bonza's, I think, officially laid off its employees, unfortunately. Yep. What sort of price is the 001 in Europe? That's a good question.
Yeah, I haven't.
Is it in... Let's have a look. ZEEKR 001 double pricing. That's a good comparison if we can find info on that. Let's see. ZEEKR 001 starts at €59,000 in the Netherlands. So that's going to be closer to almost 100K. Is that right? That sounds quite expensive.
Yeah, I'd say probably around 85 to $90,000.
Yeah, look, it's quite a for me personally, from what I saw, it's a step up from the X. Like the X is kind of more mass market, whereas the 001 is definitely more that luxury premium segment. So yeah, I'm not surprised if it's going to be sort of $90,000 or $100,000 for a vehicle like that. So yeah. Yep, I think it probably does deserve it, given the quality of of the trims that I saw. Yep. So, if I think it makes sense for X to come first to test our market. And then if it's successful, then hopefully, Andrew, if you're still watching, let's get the 001 in. 70% of people are now wanting the 001 on our poll here. 82 votes in. That's a pretty good sample size of a very engaged community here on Ludicrous Feed. So thanks, guys and girls, for voting. Okay, and that's pretty much almost all we have for today. Let's finish up with this last story. We have Sawyer saying that the largest battery manufacturer in China, CATL, says it has made progress in its all-electric aircraft partnership project. So there you go. We're very close to flying aircraft. Fascinating. 500 watt hours per kilo in a single cell. That's pretty dense. Very dense. Yeah, with twice the energy of the current mainstream EV batteries. Like we're excited when we see that golden battery that we're talking about when we were there. Closer to 400 watt hours. So the 500 watt hours is pretty good. Very dense indeed. Now, speaking of flying batteries and so on, I'm very sad to say this is actually our last show for the first half of 2024. We're reaching school holidays here in New South Wales, and I will be actually heading off overseas with the family on holiday. So I just want to give a shout out to Hyundai, who've kindly loaned me an Ioniq 5 to do a road trip around the UK in a couple of weeks. So which I'll be documenting that. So I'm sorry, everyone, that there will be no show for a month. We'll be back in late July at this stage, me and Riz. But yeah, it'll be a break for the family. And yeah, I'll definitely release those vlogs as well. So should be good fun. We're driving from London to Edinburgh and back and checking out all the charges in between. So yeah, be good to sort of compare the UK charging infrastructure to compare to our standard here in Australia. So stay tuned for those vlogs. That should be good. Otherwise, yeah, thanks so much for watching, everyone. It's been a good show, as always. Thanks for all your engagements and questions. Leave more comments if you've got some more that we didn't talk about today. And check out my vlogs of China that me and Riz went on, obviously, last week around Shanghai, Ningbo, and Hangzhou. And I might end the poll now. Actually, I'll give it 30 more seconds. We've got a poll running at the moment. What ZEEKR cars do you want to see in Australia? 001, 007, 009, and X. If you don't know, X is kind of the mainstream small SUV, large hatch they're bringing first, followed by the 009, which is the big people mover. They can go from 0 to 100 in 4.5 seconds with active suspension, which does really well around a track. And then 001, 007 is kind of their more luxury line. 001 is like a really plush looking wagon shooting brake. 007 is a really beautiful looking sedan. Very, very nice trims. So at the moment, with not many more minutes left to go on the show, we've got 67% of people, 2/3 of the voting population, wanting a 001 to come to Australia. So there you go. That's it's quite a telling story that people want to see a luxury car like that from ZEEKR. 14% want the 007, 3% want 009, and 16% want the X. So that's it, everyone. I might close the poll right now, and that way you can see the results there coming up on the screen. There you go. 88 votes we got there. So that's a pretty good sample size, I would think, for a very engaged audience. All right. Well, Riz, thanks again for joining us, as always, on the EV show.
Thanks, Tom. Awesome to be on. We had a great time last week, and yeah, just so good to have the audience back and getting to learn everything as well, and sharing all that's going around. And we look forward to seeing you have a wonderful break up in Europe in summer while we freeze down here. But look forward to seeing your videos for the family and the rest, and yeah, and then having the show back on later in July.
Thanks, Riz. Yeah, no, really good. Thank you so much. It'll be a great break, I'm sure, with the family. And yeah, thanks again for your company from in China last week. Great to have you there to share the experience with me. And check out my vlogs, everyone, if you want to find out what we got up to last week in China. Let's take a few more comments and then I'll sign off. Yeah, Mark, that's right. One vote only. Use it on the first option. That's what you really want to see in Australia for the ZEEKR cars that we put on. And yeah, so John X can't go by Euro pricing for Model 3 is cheaper than the Seal there due to heavy Chinese tariffs. Yep, that's also very true because there's a 60% tariff. No, sorry, 30% tariff for European cars at the moment. for Chinese-made cars in Europe. Sorry. Cool. That's right. Thanks everyone. We will definitely check out Fastned in the UK. Thank you, Tassie EV. And thanks for your well wishes as well, everyone. Appreciate that. Thank you, Grandpa BBQ as well. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for watching. And from Riz and myself, have a great night. Enjoy the State of Origin if you're watching that. Otherwise, yeah, I'll answer your comments as always for my vlogs. Otherwise, we'll see you live in about a month's time. So take care, everyone, and happy charging. Have a good night. See ya.